More than 47,000 veterans are homeless on any given night. That's according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Hundreds are here in San Diego. Joining me now, Congress Williams with the Veterans Village of San Diego. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, we're one of the cities with the highest population of homeless veterans. Why is that such an issue here?
It's a large issue here because in San Diego alone, we have over or close to 250,000 veterans in general. Many of them will migrate to this area once they separate because of the resources that are available in San Diego County.
Now, what unique challenges do homeless veterans face versus the general homeless population?
Versus the general homeless population, I would say not only do the homeless veterans have the issues that they bring with them from maybe what they've encountered in service, maybe some have mental health issues that go along with that, PTSD that's into place, maybe some have a criminal history, those types of things. So there's other challenges that we face as well.
Now, you talked about resources. When it comes time to try and get these veterans back to work, where do they go? Where can they turn?
Hopefully to us at Veterans Village. We're a clearinghouse for services for veterans. Also, they can take advantage at the career one-stops of the local veterans employment representatives and DVOPs that are on site at those places as well.
Now, you're a case manager, so you deal with the homeless veterans one-on-one. You know, what did they tell you about the challenges in trying to lift themselves back up?
It can be a series of different challenges because there may be various barriers. Sometimes, depending on the length of homelessness, just the documents you need to prove to right to work in the state, those things are generally the first to go. The longer that you are on the street, the more likely you are to have those things that you need to replace before you can become even eligible to work. So that's where it starts. Then it's, well, if I don't have transportation, then I can't get to some of the job opportunities I may have skills for. So that's another thing to look at. So they do have their sets of challenges other than the regular person might.
Now, from what I've seen, the veteran homeless population is going down from the last couple of years. Is that because there are more resources, or are we just seeing less people on the streets in the first place?
I think there may be combinations of the two. I'm assuming, of course, that we're finding all of them because the homeless population tends to be fluid depending on the time of year. And in fact, if you reference the study that the task force for the or regional task force for on the homeless for San Diego, they were able to do go out and count folks, basically, literally. Did you find all of them when you did that? Because I think it's pretty fluid depending on the time of year and when you're looking for the homeless population here.
And are there enough resources to help this particular subset of homeless people?
When you say enough resources, there are some, there could be more. I don't think the problem's going to diminish over time. It's going to get greater as more released from the service. There's great infrastructure here in San Diego in place. It could be expanded. We see a lot of folks coming from different parts of the country to come to San Diego to take advantage of some of the resources here. Through our stand down, for example, we've seen that grow over the years. So there's definitely a need for more services for homeless veterans.
And then lastly, funding resources. You're a nonprofit. Where do you get some of the support from?
Thankfully, we've been fortunate to have grants from the Department of Labor through the VETS program, Veterans Employment and Training Services. We're also funded through HUD, Veterans Administration. Sometimes we'll have state grants, and we were fortunate enough recently to have one from Swords to Plowshares from up in Northern California. So,
all right.
Through the auspices of Walmart.
Well, thank you so much for the work you do. I appreciate you, Congress, being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Melissa Masiha with this week's San Diego Newsmakers for 10 News.